Welcome back. Eskies, Lamingtons and Donald Bradman. They're just some of the things that anyone preparing to sit the Australian Citizenship test should be studying. But is that what being Australian is really all about? Writer and commentator Rachel Botsman last night called out the test, saying it needs an update. Let's go head-to-head right now with Shelley Horton and Joe Stanley. Good morning to you both.
Good
Shelley,
morning.
let me kick off with you. Do you think the citizenship test needs a change?
Yeah, I actually do. I don't think knowing Don Bradman's batting average is actually how we define ourselves as an Australian. I think we need to make it more along the lines of our laws, our values, mateship, that sort of thing. I think really putting to test things like sport or a Lamington is not actually fitting in the way that our society has changed now.
Yeah, I agree with you on the sporting stuff. Joe, it just occurred to me, blokes probably, I know I'm generalising here, blokes are more inclined to follow cricket than women are. If you were to ask men about netball, would there be that many blokes out there who would know the ins and outs of netball?
Yeah, I don't think there would be many who would know the ins and outs of netball or, in fact, our great netball history on the world stage. It seems a really irrelevant question when we're defining the kind of people we want to be Australians moving forward for this country. And I agree with Shelley that it's all about the values. You know, it's fair, I think, that we look for people who share our values with regard to equality, regardless of gender and race and religion, that share our values with regard to compassion and freedom of speech and understanding of each other. But yeah, I don't know. I've got no idea what Bradman's batting average was.
Yeah, neither do I.
No idea.
One of the questions surrounds the word larrikin and the definition of larrikin. Is that what it means to be an Aussie, Shelley?
Oh, look, I think that we can't get into that sort of terminology. I think what we need to do is, I do agree that there needs to be a level of English, because for people applying for their citizenship, they've already lived here for 4 years, and I think it's not about being racist or, you know, excluding people. I think it's easier for them assimilating in our society if they can speak some English. It doesn't have to be a huge amount, just enough to get by. But I don't think the word larrikin is something that I have used in the last year. So I think that terms like that maybe need to be, you know, pushed aside.
I think you make some good points, Shelley, about, you know, you're better off understanding that people understand what the rules of the land are, as opposed to knowing things about Lamingtons and Don Bradman and other things like that. Joe, do you think that would be more relevant, people actually understanding? Because we know that there are some people who come to the country without realising or without following what the rule of law is in this land. That's more important, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that is really important, and I think, you know, our history with regard to what created this nation, you know, the Anzacs and Federation, all that sort of stuff is really important to understand, because it sort of gives you an understanding of the kind of people that we are. But yeah, I mean, I've never baked a Lamington in my life either, so I've kind of failed as an Australian, really.
All right, look, let me see whether you fail this. An alarming new study of Australian Jobseekers has found a whopping 67% of us cannot spell. The study looked at 40,000 CVs, finding that most of them had spelling mistakes. Joe, are you surprised by this?
Oh, I'm just so disgusted. What's wrong with these people? You can't use a spell check. This is a job application. You're putting your best foot forward on the page. What you're telling me is that you are either too stupid to understand that there's a spell check there, or you're too lazy, or you don't care. I can't understand this. If this was my child applying for a job, I'd be outraged.
Shelley, simple mistakes, but they can cost you a job. Absolutely.
I mean, I've had people apply to be an intern with me and misspelt the word journalist. And I'm just like, wow, that's not going to work, people. But I think it comes back to the importance of education. We are so reliant on spell check, and I'll put my hand up and say I am too. But I just think that we need to make sure that we have those basics right before we have people writing a resume and not be able to spell the word resume.
Is spell check one word or two?
It's definitely one.
Congratulations, you passed, both of you. Good to catch up.
See ya.
Joe and Shelley. Coming up, the new book, Helping Husbands.